Hey folks, it's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. Today is Tuesday, it's May 28th. Hope you're doing well. And in this video, we're going to dive into the INSG chart. We're going to take a look at Inseego stock. It was up over 450% off of the lows. And you might be wondering what this is. It's a communication stock, so it's not an MJ stock, it's not a crypto, but it is a tech stock. And I think it's going to benefit greatly from the adoption of crypto, but it actually does resemble an MJ chart. So before you exit the video, even if you're not interested in INSG, the stock, it's actually pretty crazy how similar it's looking to an MJ stock. But before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or any future live streams. Also, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. You should never buy or sell anything based on anything that I say or write. And as always, I want to be full transparent. I do own the stock, so full transparency. I do own INSG. I did actually sell a little bit of it today. I took out my initial investment. So essentially, I'm just letting the rest ride. So it's a free trade for me at this point. And you can follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So we'll take a look at the macro level time frame here on the monthly time frame, but it is very reminiscent of an MJ stock. We actually just exploded. It almost reminds me of Canopy Growth, to be honest. And I think I'll do another video here after this one on Canopy, so you can tune into that one shortly after this. But off of the lows, it just did a 1-for-10 reverse split. Like, it's literally, if you didn't see INSG here, you would think that this was Canopy Growth chart. And it went all the way down from $1.62 up to, and you can see here from the low, which is back in the end of January of this year, to today, it's up over 450%. And the high here was $8.94. So I got out, I think I sold around $8.80, and my average was around $1. I think it was $1.94 or something like that. $1.90, $1.80. I got it on this pullback here. And it did have a reverse split, so it did a 1-for-10. Just because something does a reverse split doesn't mean there's not opportunity. It looks very similar, like I said, to the CGC chart. If we just bring up CGC, you can see here a similar type move, right? We had the 1-for-10 reverse split. It actually saw some more downside, but then after that, we exploded about 450%. It's crazy how similar it is. And as well, one thing I wanted to show on the monthly time frame is we topped out right around the same time. So it was January and February is where we topped out. And if you look at any MJ chart, right, that's when they topped out as well, was in that January to February. And then we went on a brutal 80 to 90+% drawdown and monthly oversold. Very similar with INSG. If you take a look at the high there to the local low, it was down over 99%, which a lot of MJ names were, including CGC. So again, INSG, CGC. And then just to kind of give you an example, it was down 99.5%. CGC, INSG. It's pretty astonishing how similar they are. And I was very confident this was a stock that I was looking at. I was actually looking at it back here in 2017, 2018, and then it went on a monster run. It was up 2,300% over that. And yeah, the low there was 870, and it ran up all the way to 219 post split, factoring in that 1-for-10 reverse split. So, but back then it was just everything divided by 10, right? But essentially, it looked very similar to an MJ stock. I learned what I knew from MJ stocks and crypto is, after a big bull market, you need to expect a long, drawn out and frustrating bear market that could span multiple years. Like we were talking 3-4 years, right? So that was something that we needed to be aware of. And like I said, learning what I knew from MJ stocks was just being very, very patient, and how correlated it was to MJ as well. It was an opportunity that I wanted to take advantage of after having missed the initial run there back in the initial crypto boom. But I think it's going to do well because of the necessary. We're going to need that tech, right? If everybody's going to be on a blockchain, if everybody's going to be using a new financial system, it's going to be powered by crypto and blockchain. Then we're going to be relying on data more and more, and we're going to need communication networks. We're going to need the tech industry to help facilitate the decentralized Internet of Money, essentially. And then one thing that they came out with, so just a quick update on their profile here, they engage in business of communication equipment. So the firm's products include mobile hotspots, industrial gateways and routers, home and enterprise routers, industrial USB modems and telematics, and mobile tracking hardware devices. And then over in the news, they signed, they had a TD Cowen raised a price target raise to $12 from $3.50. So that added fuel to the fire and momentum. And then we had this one right here. Inseego announces Federal Information Processing Standard Publication 140-2 certified 5G mobile hotspot, MiFi X Pro. So now available for sale through North America, mobile network operators and resellers. So the market was obviously liking that news. And, I'm not one to dive into, I'm a nerd, but I'm not that big of a nerd, but I know the world is going to be needing, faster communication. And I think INSG is one of those companies that could have really turned it around, and it's looking like it certainly is doing that. On the monthly time frame, we have our low, high, and a higher low and higher high. So it confirmed a monthly uptrend right around the same time MJ stocks are confirming a monthly uptrend. So it's very, very similar, but this could be an inverse head and shoulders as well. On the monthly time frame, we need to watch out for key resistance that's approaching there at 12.30. So I do think that that's $12 would be an area to be targeting here as a potential local top, but temporary top. But on the daily time frame, it is a daily bull flag. So we did confirm it. If we go from the low to the high here, we had our higher low. We held the 0.32 fib to perfection. And then once we broke the high of the bounce there at 764, that confirmed the daily bull flag. And you just take your measured move from the low to the high, move it out to your 0.32 fib, and it says we were targeting about 12.53. So I would have to concur with their price target of $12. And I'm not sure how they got to it if they're using technical analysis, but you can kind of read the tea leaves, read the charts, and come to multiple. Some people get there through fundamental analysis, right, and looking at valuation metrics or price to earnings, that type of thing, on a pro forma basis, et cetera, et cetera. They do it on a fundamental side of things, whereas some can be technical, right, and some through fair market value or looking at price to earnings or multiples. You can kind of gauge where a stock should be or where it would be going, whereas technical analysis, you're just taking a look at indicators, patterns, and these different indicators that give us the same type of thing, right? And if you can combine fundamentals with technicals, that's kind of where I try to meet in the middle, right? I try to maintain a healthy balance between fundamentals and technicals, and then have an edge, right? And obviously, I'm definitely more technical, but trying to incorporate a little bit more of the fundamental side as well. And as we know, tech stocks have been on an absolute tear. Look at NVDA, confirming a monthly bull flag as well. It's targeting about 1,800 on that monthly bull flag. I'd be very, very cautious, though, on some of those names. But as of right now, no major red flags on INSG. Like I said, I'm still holding strong. I did sell majority of my position. I'm still holding majority of my position. I took my initial investment out, and I'm going to be letting the rest ride. And then on the weekly time frame, we're looking. This is absolutely parabolic. Look at this MACD on the weekly, just starting to blast off into space. We're well above the 10-week moving average now. Big volume coming in as well the last few weeks. Stochastic, super bullish. We're just coming up on this 100 weekly. This is the only thing that I'm a little concerned about. So that's why I was looking to lock in some profit and take out my initial investment and let the rest ride, because we do have very, very strong resistance there at the 100 weekly at 914. And that's exactly where a lot of MJ topped out as well. If you look at some names like High Tide, it actually got above it, but what's a better example? SNDL, so it got above it and then rejected. Tilray, I think, was another example. Yeah, it got right at its 100 and then started to pull back. We had some names in the US, GTBIF, that got to its 200 weekly, but INSG, it's notable that it's so similar to an MJ stock at the moment, and I can't really put a finger on it as to why that would be, but I guess, just based on sheer volatility and a new emerging market. But right now, we should find very strong resistance there at that 914 and 100 weekly, because on the weekly time frame, we don't have any support all the way down to $2.22. So from here, we could pull back essentially 75% and still be in a weekly uptrend. We have our low, high, higher, low, and higher high, higher, low, and higher high. Actually, we didn't break to a higher high there, but we got our higher, low, and higher high here. And it was just an equilibrium where we had our high, low, lower high, higher low, bull break, EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. We got that confluence, came off weekly oversold. And like I said, no support nearby, but we could pull back 75% and still be in a healthy weekly uptrend. So that's why I was just locking in that profit. But don't fight these bulls. These are the times when something's down over 99+%. It doesn't take very much for these stocks to squeeze and to never look back. Well, not never look back, but it'll always go higher than you think, and you'll be wrong most often than not trying to time the top. But if we can get over that 100 weekly, we haven't closed above that candle that moving average on a candle on the weekly time frame since way back in March of 2021, which is again right when MJ peaked and then entered a brutal bear market. So if we get above that, then we got some runway there to the 200 weekly at 46, and we also just had a golden cross as well with the 50 coming through the 100-day and the 200-day all in one go. So it's pretty interesting to see that it resembles an MJ stock to this degree. And then, like I said, looking at a potential IHS as well, and we do have that key price action resistance at $12.30. So $12, anywhere from that, $9 to $12. I think it's anybody's guess on when it's going to top out and then form a nice weekly higher low. But as of right now, no major red flags whatsoever. And like I said, we would just anticipate a weekly higher low as the most likely scenario once we do top out, but no signs of that yet. Once we confirm a daily downtrend, that will be what I'll be looking at for confirmation of weekly consolidation and a pretty hefty pullback. But if you're looking for entries, again, not telling you to buy, sell, or hold, but we haven't been hourly oversold in a very, very long time after such a monster move coming from all the way down at 222, right? So it's been a very, very long time since we've been hourly oversold. And when's the last time we were 5-minute oversold? Wasn't that long ago. I guess it was back in May 23rd. But we've had since the last time we've been 5-minute oversold, we've rocketed about 42%. I'd probably be more inclined to play the hourly oversold. 15-minute time frame, I'd probably wait for hourly. But I think hourly oversold should be a decent entry for a monster bounce. And it's an hourly bull flag as well. So you go from the low here to the high. We had a brief higher low. Bull flag confirmed. And if we just take our measured move there from the low to the high, move it out to our 0.32 fib, we are targeting about 1080 on that as well. So looks like it's got more gas in the tank. So we'll see what tomorrow brings in the rest of the week. But like I said, this is one of those diamonds in the rough, I think, and could very well turn it around. And just because you did a reverse split doesn't mean that you're down for the count. So going into there, it's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. If you're holding INSG, let me know. All right, we'll see you on the next video.